Hello and welcome to day 12 of the Black Knight Inspiration Challenge. Yesterday we were working with psychology. Today we're going to change and work with our energy. Okay, so if you remember all the way back to day 2, seems like a long time ago, and I said to you that the world is made up of 5% objects, okay, so 5% matter and the things that we see, but 95% energy, okay? So if we're going to live as Black Knights, we need to understand that energy, yeah? And so, like, how can I say that the world is made up of 95% energy? Because that's a big number, yeah? Well, even if you take like the space, obviously it's easy to think that the space is made up of energy, but even the objects, if we look at the objects like tables and chairs and people, those objects are made up of atoms. And in the atoms, there are electrons, okay? So even within the atom, if you were to take the example of an atom, best example to describe it would be St. Peter's Basilica as an atom. St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. The particles actually are like grains of sand in the basilica. So you're talking huge space for tiny little electrons, you know. So that's for all the objects that we see. The atoms that make up the objects are really like space inside them. There's more space than there is actual objects. So that's the world we live in. It's just space, energy. And it's also called the quantum field. So at that quantum level, it's just this energy. And the energy is a hologram. So what that means is it's holographic, it's reflective. So each individual part of the hologram gets reflected in the whole hologram. So it's a bit like a CD. A CD is holographic, and if you break a CD, you can get the contents in the little piece of the CD. You can get the contents of the whole CD in that little piece. It's holographic, and the universe operates like that as well. So you are a part of the whole, but you have the whole in you, and it gets reflected. You have the old phrases, as within, so without, as above, so below. It's that reflection of the microcosm in the macrocosm and the macrocosm in the microcosm. So it sounds like, you know, it's hard to get your head around, but it's just that you're getting this mirroring of you in your surrounding world. And what the mirroring is doing is it's just mirroring your frequency, and your frequency is what you feel. This is really important because your thoughts don't have a lot of power or authority, actually. The authority is in your feeling. The feeling has authority. So you can think a positive thought, but you feel, you know, negative or, you know, doubting, or, you know, all these feelings. That's really what the universe reflects back, and they're based on your unconscious beliefs. So in that 95% unconscious, you believe the world is dog eat dog. You believe the world is out to get you. You believe the world is there's not enough to go around. You know, all these beliefs that you have in your unconscious. That's what generates how you feel as you walk through your day. And those beliefs then get reflected in the world. Because the universe actually, in very simple terms, the universe, if we were to think of the universe having a dictionary, it would only have one word in the dictionary, and that would be yes. So to all your beliefs, the universe says yes. So if you believe the world is out to get you, the universe says yes. If you believe the world is dog eat dog, competitive, the universe says yes. It just says yes. So it's very simple to remember. It keeps on saying yes to us. Now, we don't feel that. And that's because a lot of our beliefs are not things that we really want to have in the world, but that's just what we believe. So let me just give you a really, really personal example of this, okay? When I was working, I had a successful consulting company, and I was doing a lot of consulting, a lot of reports, strategies, but I had a belief that I work better under pressure, okay? Now, that really translated into being behind a lot, because I felt when I was behind, I was under pressure, and then I got a lot of inspiration, and that's when I did my best work. So if I had a report to have done, the deadline would come up, I would not feel any inspiration, any pressure until I'm facing like the deadline. The deadline is like a few days, I've got to get a report done, I'm up all night doing the reports. It's crazy, but that's my belief. Was I worked better under those situations of high pressure, being really behind. That's when all the inspiration came, you know. Now, what also happened was, it wasn't just the reports that I ended up being behind on, because it was my energy. I ended up being behind on my taxes as well, and so I got a letter from the sheriff saying, I think you need to get your accounts in order, you know. So nothing like a letter from the sheriff to get you to change. But it was all my energy. My energy was based on my belief that I work better under pressure, you know. So I was doing this work at the time, and I dug into what my belief was, and I could work on it and change it and go, this is, you know, is this really true for me? You know, because it's creating havoc. I was creating havoc in my life, you know, taxes, family, relationship. I was just, the whole thing was a mess. I was so far behind. But I felt that this is the way I was getting work, and my best work done. So, when I changed that belief, when I brought it out from my unconscious and made it conscious, and changed it, that it wasn't my truth, it was just something that I believed, all things changed. I ended up with savings. I had a good relationship with the sheriff, because my whole belief structure had changed. So a lot of things, when I changed really my frequency by changing my belief, the world around me changed. It was incredible to see the difference. In a real life, that was my life, you know, that was my life. So it can be that difference between the red knight, which is doing and thinking the world is about slaying dragons, and then the world reflects that, but you're being your false pleasing self. So you believe that if you're pleasing the world, you know, that's where you get your love. The universe, as I said, says yes. If you are your false self and you please people, yes, you get love. But all the same is true if in your black night, when you're your truth, the universe reflects back that and says, yes, the world is true. So, you know, Gurdjieff would say, the world is true only when I am, you know, and he was saying that's what he was referring to, which is the world reflects back your truth. You're being true to yourself, and the world is true. When you're being the red knight and you're being false and pleasing, the world says yes, the world reflects that back exactly. And so, you know, there was a time when I was getting called back in to do work like as a red knight, but it wasn't my truth. It was like, no, that's false for me now. I don't want to do that work anymore. Money was really good, the contracts were really lucrative, but it just felt that I just felt, no, that's just not me. That's not my truth is here. This is what I'm doing, and I want the world to be true for me. I want to live in a world that reflects my truth and is true to me, is true back to me. And so that's black night. The difference between the two, it's really very clear. So what I want to do today is an experiment with you, an energy experiment, right? Where you pick an energy that you want to be. So it could be loving or open or expansive, whatever energy you want to be, and just be it. Okay, so it's not a thought. You have to be that energy. You have to be loving, be expansive, be open, and then take the feedback. What's the universe saying back to you? Do it for an hour, maybe 2 hours. You can try it for a day if you want, and just see what the universe, what the hologram reflects back. Because don't forget, the universe is always saying yes. It's always saying yes to you. If you are loving and you believe, in that loving universe, that you are love, the universe is love, it reflects back. So if you're being something and it's not being that, then it's a reflection back. There's a conflict within you. There's a conflict in your 95% unconscious that really doesn't allow you to fully believe that you are loving, or that the world is loving or open, or so expansive. So experiment with it. Be curious. Have that childlike curiosity to your life, and it becomes a magical experience. You can be this, and then check and see, well, is the world being this back to me? So what is the world showing me? And so life becomes more magical, more symbolic. So it's a lovely time to experiment and see what the world gives you back. So enjoy that as an exercise, and I'm going to see you tomorrow for day 13.